Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Meydan Racecourse here on Friday. It is the 27th of January 2023. Going to look at all the races on tonight's program from Meydan, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Remember to join me tomorrow for my Pegasus preview from Gulfstream. It's an excellent card there, so I hope you join me for that. But it's a great card tonight from Meydan. We're going to look at all the races, so we have a lot to look at. Starting off with the opener, it's the Festival City Stakes. It's a conditions race going for a $60,000 purse. Race for 3-year-olds here. 7 horses are going 1,900 meters or a mile 3/16 on the main dirt course. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 6-horse, Mr. Precocious. Let's go 652 in your tri-cash trifecta. 652 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection, 6-horse, Mr. Precocious. 3-year colt by Bernardini. Miguel Barzalone is on this one. The horse's most recent outing came the 8th of January here at Meydan. 7 furlongs in a main race on the dirt. He finished second by 5 lengths that day, and he was with them early on, setting the pace. He got caught late. The winner, Mr. Raj, just had the jump on him, but he ran his heart out. Refreshing here around 2 turns, which is father basically won with, winning the 2006 Preakness at Pimlico. Going to the mile 3/16, has some forwardly paced. Speed's been really good on this track. I expect him to really improve and expect him to finally get the victory. 2 back at Meydan 23rd of December, 1 mile in main race. He finished 5th by 8.5 lengths that day. He had to be used a lot to get decent position out of the gate. He did get to the front end, but then he just kind of hit the wall late. I do think they just used him too much there. And then it took him to Abu Dhabi before that on the 8th of December. 1 mile on the lawn in the main race. Finished 9th by 8.5 lengths that day. And he really just never showed up. I do think he got beat by better horses there. But he's definitely been on the improve with every single race. Coming here today at 5-1, I think he's in a good spot to win. I'm going to use him. To recap my selection for the opener from Meydan, it's the Festival City Stakes. Let's take the 6-horse, Mr. Precocious. Let's go 652 in your tri-cash trifecta. To the second race now from Meydan. It's the Dubai Sprint. It's listed stakes going for a $100,000 purse. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 15 horses dashing 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs down the straightaway here at Meydan. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 1 horse, Man of Promise. Let's go 1-3-14 in your tri-cash trifecta. 1-3-14 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection, 1 horse, Man of Promise. 6-year-old Gelb Into the Mischief. Godolphin Doan. Charlie Outbeat trains. William Buick gets the mount. The horse's most recent appearance came the 6th of January here at Meydan on opening night at the Carnival. 5 furlongs in illicit stakes, and he finished second by 1 1/4 lengths behind Lazuli, who had the jump on him this one. He just kind of stalked and could really never get there. Probably need the race first off the bench, first back since July. Refreshing here. I love the stand side poster again. Should get a good trip, and I think he has enough speed to win. Also, class relief from some of his most recent races in Europe. 2 back in the Group 3 Hackwood Stakes in Newbury, 6 furlongs, 16th of July. He finished 6th by 3 lengths that day. He was under the drive on the front end, but he had a ginormous weight of 138 pounds. He just couldn't keep up off of that effort. It wasn't the day to win. And then against very tough competition, the Group 1 King Stand at Royal Ascot, 5 furlongs, 14th of June. He finished 8th by 6 3/4 lengths there, and he just never really got going. Like I said, got beat by better horses. Something to keep him an eye on. They did have some wet weather in Dubai the past week, so just the turf course might have some moisture, a little bit more than we're used to. So just keep that in mind. He hasn't won since winning over the course and distance last March, in the Nat Sheba Turf Sprint, winning by 4 3/4 lengths. He put on a show that day from a tracking position. Since then, he ran a decent third in the Outquad Sprint, and then in the UK over the summer, he just wasn't getting to that better form. He found a little bit better form last time out off the bench. Second off, he should be very fresh. I expect him to run well today. The 3-horse spot 1, the French invader for Theo Bachelet. I think you're second likeliest winner. When he runs on soft ground in Europe, he doesn't really show up, but when he sees a little bit of a quicker ground, he really runs a good race. If he runs a race like he ran in July at Deauville, he could definitely win against these horses. I thought last time out he had a very troubled trip from the stand side, but coming here today at 8-1, I'm going to give him a shot also in the place or quad pod. But to recap my selection for the second from Meydan, it is the listed Dubai Stakes. Dubai Sprint. Let's take the 1 horse Man of Promise. Give kudos to the 3 horse Batouan. 1-3-14 tri-cash trifecta. 1-3 in your forecast exact. 1-3 in your multi race, whatever you decide to play. Exact. What do you call that? Quad or pod or plays pod here. Plays pod. Pick 6. But let's get to the third race now from Meydan, which is As my iPad craps out. The iPad is turning 10 years old next week. It's gonna be this one. The iPad is so old. Actually, 11 years old. The iPad is so old that you have to chuck coal in it to make it work. That's how bad it is. But that's my goal for I have two goals for this year: get a new iPad and go to the Belmont Stakes. And I was looking at Belmont Stakes tickets recently, so the Belmont Stakes might happen first before the new iPad. But I've just been putting it off because I hate going to the Apple Store. But to the third race now from Meydan. It is the Longines Legend Driver Collection Handicap. It's a handicap going for $75,000 purse. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 10 horses going to the dirt. The distance of ground 1,900 meters or mile 3/16 on the dirt course. I'm going to take here the 3-horse book review. Let's go 3-10-7 in your TriCash trifecta. 3-10-7 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 3-horse book review. My best bet of the night. 6-year-old Gun by Dubawi. Miguel Barzalone is on this one. Horse's most recent outing, the 14th of January at Jebel Ali. A mile and a quarter in a listed stakes. And he finished 4th by 33 lengths that day. And, he beat one horse home. He was on the front end seeing some wicked fast fractions, but he couldn't get up that hill. He does not like Jebel Ali. Basically, when you're going up hill, the final 2 furlongs Jebel Ali, you're going up like a steep hill like this, and you either handle it or don't. He didn't, but I thought it was a good stamina builder. Coming here to a more level playing field, he should get a good easy lead, and I think he has the stamina to basically go wire to wire here today. And the way the speed's been holding up, I think he has a very good chance of winning. 2 back, 17th of December at Jebel Ali, 1,800 meters, mile and eighth in conditions race. Finished 4th by 4 lengths. Again, wide posture, sent out of the gate. He just couldn't keep up in the late stages of the race, but he ran his heart out there. And then his seasonal reappearance on the 4th of January here, 4th of November at here at Meydan, a mile and 3/16 in a handicap, winning by 5.5 lengths on the front end all throughout. He basically had the job done at the top of the lane. A very good, gritty performance there. Went over the course and distance here last January also. Then they took him to Listed Company after that, where he just wasn't really keeping up. But coming here to this handicap, a good posture, good stamina builder his last few starts. He's my best bet of the night. I'm going to take him here at 8-1. So to recount my selection for the third from Meydan, let's take the 3-horse book review. Let's go 3-10-7 in your TriCash trifecta. Let's get to the 4th race now, which is one of the co-features of the program. It is the Jumeirah Classic. It's a conditions race going for $100,000 purse. Races for 3-year-olds only. We have a field of 12 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here the 4-horse Dream of Love as the top selection. Let's go 4-8-12 in your TriCash trifecta. 4-8-12 TriCash trifecta. Top selection, the 4-horse Dream of Love. 3-year-old followed by Charmadol. Godolphin Doan, Charlie Appy trains, William Buick gets the leg up. The horse's most recent outing came 28th of October at Newmarket. Soft ground, 1 mile in a filly's listed stakes, and she finished 3rd by 1 1/4 lengths that day. She didn't have the best beginning. She just kind of stalked all the way around the race course and just couldn't get the good turn of foot. Probably needed the race, on soft ground. Maybe she didn't like the soft ground. It was just a very weird run. She didn't look as comfortable as she did in debut. Second off the bench, not the toughest race in the world. She get a good, prominent position. I expect the horse to really run a good race here today. Something that kind of scares me a little bit with these Buick horses and Godolphin horses the last few weeks of the festival. They haven't been really firing. The other Godolphins have been firing, but not the Buick horses, so that's kind of weird. But 2 back, the horse on debut, 7th of October on the Rolling Mile at Newmarket. 7 furlongs in a maidens filly race. She won by a neck that day, and basically from an easy track position, she got the lead. She was a little bit green in the lane, but she still got the job done. A very good performance there. And like I said, she did improve a little bit next start out, but soft ground maybe got to her. Coming here a little bit quicker ground, not as firm as normal, but she should get a good trip, and I think she could win here. I think the 8-horse Maj is your second likely winner for Godolphin. Saeed Benzor, Pat Cosgrave gets the mounts. Most recently in the Chevrolet Park, he finished 3rd by 1.5 lengths there, and he never really was, just really couldn't keep up from mid-pack there. Before that, in the Lowther Stakes at York over the 6, he finished 4th by 3 lengths, and again, he just never quickened up. I do think he gets better with 7 furlongs. He's gonna have to overcome a wide posture, but he can win on paper. But I do think Dream of Love is your likeliest winner. But this horse is a plays pod or quad pod horse. To recount my selection for the 4th from Meydan, it's Jumeirah Classic Stakes, Jumeirah Phillies Classic Stakes. Gonna take as a top selection a 4-horse Dream of Love. Give kudos to the 8-horse Maj. 4-8-12 TriCash trifecta. 4-8 in your place pot. The 5th race from Meydan back to lawn. It is the Zabeel Turf Handicap. It's a handicap going for a $100,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 14 horses are going 2,000 meters or a mile quarter on the turf course. I'm going to take here as a top selection the number 12 horse, Legend of Dubai. Let's go 12-9-7 in your tri-cash trifecta. 12-9-7 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection 12 horse, Legend of Dubai. 5-year-old gun by Dubawi here. Doug Watson trains. Pat Dobbs gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 7th of December at Doncaster. A mile and a quarter and a handicap there. From wide poster, he finished second by 1 3/4 lengths that day. And he sat back early. He slowly moved his way up. But, he had a little bit too tough ground to make up late, but he ran his heart out. Back to a mile and a quarter coming to the UAE today. I expect him to really run a good race and improve off that run. 2 back at Goodwood, 26th of July, a mile and a quarter and a handicap there. He finished 11 by 6 1/4 lengths. Again, another wide post. He was never really comfortable from a mid-pack position, kind of weakened out of it. As the 5.5 to 1 favorite, he just wasn't winning there. And then prior to that at Ascot, a mile and heritage handicap. He finished 20th by 13 lengths there. And again, he just stalked, but never had the good turn of foot. First off the year freshening, second start in nearly 2 years, and a handicap in Newmarket on the 29th of April. Over the mile, he won by 4.5 lengths, and from a tracking position, he won quite nicely. He has a good tracking trip here today. Some of the horses he was facing in the UK were very tough horses, down the class ladder with a good weight of 127 pounds over the mile and a quarter. I think this horse is loaded. I definitely use in your quad pod, quaddy pick 4 here if you're playing. Another horse I think has a strong chance is the 9 horse Blue Trail for Miguel Barcelona and Charlie Appleby. Most recently in September at Ascot, a mile and a half in a heritage handicap. He hated the yielding going. He finished 11th by 43 lengths. Put a line through that run. He just was not comfortable. Before that, at Goodwood, a mile and a quarter and a handicap. He ran his heart out, finishing second by a neck. He just missed late, but he had a great tracking position. Not a bad run there. And then in the 18th of June at Royal Ascot, a mile and a quarter and a handicap. Finished 8th by 10 lengths, and he just couldn't keep up late. I do think he got beat by better horses. Coming here to the mile and a quarter with a good inside poster, it wouldn't surprise me also 5 to 1. We'll use this horse, like I said, in the multis. But to recap my selection for the 5th from Meydan, it's the Zabeel Turf Handicap. Let's take the 12 horse Legends of Dubai. Give kudos to the 9 horse Blue Trail. 12-9-7 tri-cash trifecta. 12-9 in your multi-race. The featured 6th race from Meydan, it is the Group 3 Firebreak Stakes. It's Group 3 event for a $150,000 purse, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. 8 horses are going 1,600 meters or a mile on the turf course. I'm going to take here the 7 horse Prince Ajay as a top selection. Let's go 7-1-2 in your tri-cash trifecta. 7-1-2 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection 7 horse Prince Ajay. Several Gellin by Dubawi here. Doug Watson trains. Sam Hitchcock gets them out. The horse's most recent outing came 6th of January here at Meydan. 1 mile in the Al Maktoum Challenge round 1. He finished 5th by 12 lengths that day, and he just never, he stalked but never quickened up. Second off the bench, he should have really improved, but he kind of hit the wall late. It wasn't the day to win. Refreshing in a lesser spot here today. Gonna, have to, have some speed to win here, but I think he has the speed to win. I think he could show up and run a good race. 2 back enlisted stakes here at Meydan. 1 mile the 1st of December. Off the bench, he won by 1.5 lengths, and probably wasn't 100% cranked that day, but he got the job done. A very good performance after all said and done. And then a handicap on the 5th of March at Meydan, 7 furlongs on the turf course. He finished 10th by 16 1/4 lengths that day, and very subpar race. He got beat by better handicapped horses there. And then last year's Firebreak, he finished 4th by 9 lengths that day, and basically, lost the chance where he just couldn't keep up late. I just thought he ran a little bit too fast, and then last December at Meydan, 7 furlongs in a listed stakes, finished second by nose. Lost all chances at the beginning, but he really closed up well. If he would have broke better at the start, he probably would have won by open lengths. But he's definitely been improving with every start in the UAE. Has a forwardly pace. I'm going to give him a shot on the ticket. I think your second likeliest winner here is the 1 horse Discovery Island. Most recently in the Al Maktoum Challenge round 1, he finished second by 6.5 lengths, really having a decent trip there. Before that, March 1 at Jebel Ali quite nicely, and won over in a conditions race here last year very nicely over the mile. He likes his track. He has some speed. It wouldn't surprise me. We'll use him in the quad pod or the multi-race here. But to recap my selection for the 6 from Meydan, it's the Group 3 Firebreak Stakes. Let's take the 7 horse Prince Ajay. Give kudos to the 1 horse Discovery Island. 7-1-2 tri-cash trifecta. 7-1 in your multi-race. The co-featured 7th race now from Meydan. It is the Jumeirah Classic Stakes. It's a conditions race going for a $150,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds only. We have a field of 9 horses going 1,800 meters or a mile and 1/8 on the turf course. Gonna take here the number 6 horse, Naval Power. Let's go 648 in your tri-cash trifecta. 648 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection 6 horse, Naval Power. 3-year-old called by Telefilo here. Godolphin Doan, Charlie Appleby trains. William Buick gets the mount. Serious class relief for this horse. Most recently ran the Group 1 Dewhurst Stakes at Newmarket over the 7 furlongs, 8th of October. He finished 6 by 12 lengths that day. He was with him early on, but then just completely crumbled. The winner really ran a great race. Refreshing here, getting the extra 2 furlongs off the last run. He should really improve and get the victory here today. 2 back at Haydock on the 3rd of September, 1 mile listed stakes. He won by 1/4 lengths that day, and from a tracking position, even with a little bit of a high weight, he quickened up nicely, and he got the job done there. And then the 23rd of July at Ascot on fast ground, 7 furlongs and listed stakes, winning by 6.5 lengths. Could have won around another 5 times. He basically won for fun. A very good race there, and broke the maiden at Leicester, or won a novice race at Leicester before that, even easier. He's only lost once. That came against Group 1 quality horses in the Dewhurst. Refreshing here, 4 to 5. I know it's a short price, but he's a very likely winner. Let's use him. So to recount my selection for the 7 from Meydan, it's Jumeirah Classic. Let's take the 6 horse, Naval Power. Let's go 648 in your tri-cash trifecta. The 8th race, the nightcap on the program from Meydan. It is the Longines Record Collection Handicap. It's a handicap going for a $75,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 10 horses are going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here the number 9 horse, Western Symphony. Let's go 942 in your tri-cash trifecta. 942 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection 9 horse, Western Symphony. 5-year gun by Charmadel here. Tango Shea gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 15th of January here, Meydan, on the lawn, 7 furlongs and a handicap. He finished second by a half a length that day, and he sat back early, but was closing up like an express train late, like Trevor Denman would say. But he just missed. Not a bad run. Back to dirt, where he's a course and distance winner. I'm going to give him another shot to really run a good race, but it'll probably still a little closer. Those deep closing victories on the dirt don't happen here. 2 back at Jubilee, 17th of December, 7 furlongs and a handicap. From wide posture, he finished 3rd by 6.25 lengths that day. He just kind of stalked, but never could get the good turn of foot. I do think the hill got to him there. And then 25th of November at Meydan, 1 mile and a handicap. He finished 2nd by 2.25 lengths there. Very high weight. From his tracking position, he just couldn't catch the winner, who was carrying, nearly 10 less pounds than this horse. What can you do? He just got out handicapped there. And then the 4th of November, seasonal reappearance here at Meydan, 7 furlongs and a handicap. Guess what? He's a course and distance winner, winning by 5.5 lengths that day. And he won for fun. Basically was the freshest horse of the batch. Coming back to the 7 furlong trip, back to dirt. From a tracking position, I think he can really run a good race. I think the 4 horse, the Attorney's your second likeliest winner. Running in the UK on turf wasn't bad at all. He has some tracking position, but the question is, can he handle the kickback? We're going to figure out today at 4 to 1. He's your wise guy horse, because if he handles the dirt, he could win by a country mile. But to recap my selection for the nightcap, the 8th race from Meydan, let's take the 9 horse, Western Symphony. Give kudos to the 4 horse, the Attorney. 942 tri-cash trifecta, 94 in your multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at horseracingkid5. Good luck, everybody.